letter from the alphabet could work for naming a set. It doesn't have to be A, B, C, or Y, or X. It can be any letter of the alphabet, right? Okay, very good. We have Ernest, Edwin, and Ryan sharing. Now for number 2, what would we see? Ryan, remember that the set is infinite, right? It doesn't have an end. It continues. The multiples of 3 is continues. So you should have your recurring dots there. Okay, very good. Now, what would we see for number 2? A equals to X, where X is a positive even number. It's not Ryan Victorine, it's Ryan Folgarit. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Fulgarite, Miss.
Folgarite. Okay. Just take a little note on that the set is infinite, so you need to have your recurring dots, okay? Apart from that, that's a good set in raster notation. Now for number 2, what would we see number 2 is? Ernest, why would you say it's 12?
Because it says a positive even number, it can be any.
X is a positive even number. Okay, good try. Who else want to give it a try? Let's see. Let's see who has something similar, something different. X is a positive even number. How would you write that? Anyone wants to share? I want to see Ernest shared his example of his answer. Ulysses H equals to 2, 12, 24, 32. Pascual says 18. Okay, so when a set tells you X is a positive even number, good, Edwin, good. The set is not telling you just one, although it says it is a positive even number. For X, that means that X can be any, right? But if it can be any positive even number, then we need to start the set with the lowest even number, where we have 2, 4, 6. And since even numbers are infinite, we also have to include our recurring dots. So yeah, very good, Edwin and Gerald. That is how your set should look in raster notation. Okay. um Although it says a positive even number, the set shouldn't have just one element. It should have the first elements and then your recurring dots. Okay, so now that you have known a little bit more about raster notation and semantic form that we covered on Monday, now for this one, look at the set and tell me, what is the description of the set? What is the description of this set?
The months of the year, Miss.
This is the months of a year.
Very good. It is the months of a year. Now, what I want you to do is to complete the steps with me in your notebooks, right? Write the set and write the description. Write the set and write the description. If you said it is the months of the year, write months of the year for description. Briefly do that quickly, because we will go step by step with this notation. The description that you mentioned is months of the year, right? Months of the year. Are you finished copying this? The notation, but good, very good. We will go step by step so that everyone can understand this, but very good. Remember your curly brackets, though you were missing a curly bracket there. Okay, so are most of you finished copying this one?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. I hope so. Write your description, remember. So what will we do next? We will name our set. We will name our set and add the curly bracket, right? So this is what you should have. A equals, I'll write the curly bracket. We are naming this. You could name the set anything. If you wanted to name it B, C, D, E, you could name your set, right? Because this set is different from the set we have first. If you want to keep the letter, then that's okay. That's no problem. But we will name our set. Remember, the naming of a set is a letter, and we will add the curly brackets. After we do that, we will start filling out the set with an X. So that is how it should start looking. A equals your curly bracket and an X inside. Please make note of that. Copy that in your notebooks because this will help you a lot. Many of you had some trouble with this one in your assignment. So those are the first steps that we are following. First, we name our set and put our curly brackets, and then we start filling out the set with an X. Right? Are we done? Okay, I can move to the next.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So now we place a vertical bar or a colon after the first X. So after the X that we included, we should include a vertical bar or a colon. Please do that. Follow the instructions. When we do that, what we do next is we place another X followed by the description. So when we finalize all the steps, your set should look like A equals, you have your curly brackets, X, you have the vertical bar, and X is a month of the year. Right? So you have an X, you have a bar there, a vertical bar or a colon, you have another X and followed by your description. So this is called set builder notation, and that is our topic for today, set builder notation. Right? So the first step we can see is to find the description, right? We should find the description. Secondly, we should name our set and add our curly brackets. Thirdly, we should start filling the set, right? With an X. And then we place a vertical bar or a colon after the first X. And lastly, we place another X followed by the description. So that is set builder notation. What we have way to the bottom, right? Have you finished copying this one so that I move to the next slide?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So set builder notation is also called the rule notation. The set builder notation has a certain rule or a statement, what we just called a description, right? That specifically describes the common feature of all the elements of a set. So if I ask you for a description, the rule, it means the same thing, right? If I ask you for the description for the set, then we are referring to the same thing. Don't get confused if it tells you what is the rule. It is asking for a description. If it says what is the condition, it is asking you for the description. If it is asking you for a statement, it is asking you for the description. So don't get confused with those terms because you will more than likely see those terms there. So it describes the common feature of all the elements of a set. So that is the description, right? So we have the set builder form uses a vertical bar and its representation with a text describing the character of the elements of the set. So as I mentioned, it has the vertical bar, right? And it has a text, a little text describing the character of the elements. It has a little description, right? So that is how we know it is a set builder form. I will move to the next slide. We have sometimes a colon is used instead of the vertical bar. So if you put a colon or a vertical bar, it doesn't, a vertical bar, sorry. It doesn't matter, but don't put a slanted bar or like, I don't know how you call it, right? But the ones that are not straight. Miss, my internet is low. I'm sure, Pascual, as I mentioned, don't worry. The recording will always be available in Google Classroom, right? Yeah, Ernest, those are not accepted. Those little bars are not accepted. It has to be a vertical bar, a straight bar. If you are typing in your computer, it should be found to the bottom of the backspace, right? Way to the at the bottom of the backspace. Very good, Desiree. That is a vertical bar. Or you could use a colon. It doesn't matter which one you use, as long as you have one of those in the set. Now we have, for example, A equals to K, where K is an even number and K is less than or equal to 20. So I noticed that many of you have trouble in representing or reading or trying to read what K and those little less than sign means. Some of you are not that familiar with the notation, right? But when we take a look at set builder notation, most of the time you will have something like that where it has K less than or equal to 20. So you should get familiar with those ones, or the next sign that is the opposite way, right, which is more than. So you should get what that means. Why? Because you will see some of those same notations in your assignment, and if you do not know what that means, then your description will be wrong, right? So we have the condition there, right, or the description. K is an even number and K is less than or equal to 20, right? That is our description. So the statement says all the elements of set A are even numbers that are less than or equal to 20. That is what the set is saying. If you have trouble writing, the set, like the last part, K is less than or equal to 20, I suggest you write it in words. Why? Because if you are trying to do so and you are not that well acquainted with that notation, then you will end up confusing yourself. So if you know that you cannot write it like that, then just write words. Write K is less than or equal to 20, like I have to the bottom, right? But do not write me everything set A are even numbers that are less than or equal to 20. No, it should look like A equals curly bracket K is an even number, and K is less than or equal to 20, and that will be fine too, right? Because that is a description. Now, if you are confident and you know that you can represent the set, right, in those little notations, then go ahead and do it. I am not telling you you should do it, but if you know you cannot, then don't do it, right? So this is what set builder notation looks like. Do you have any questions? Any questions?
No,
Is
Miss.
there something you didn't understood from this one? We'll do some practice questions right now, so don't worry. But if there's something that you are still thinking, maybe it's not clear. Gerald says I understood. So I hope that everyone is working together, right? We are at the same pace. So what we'll do now is we will represent those in set builder notation, right? We will go step by step. Oh, these are just examples, sorry. I was confusing myself. So these are just examples of set builder notation. So the first one is a description, right? A clear description. B equals to X, where X is a positive integer less than 10. That's just description there. Now, set C, for some of you might be challenging. Why? Because you don't remember some of the symbols that we have there. So you will try to say, but what does that mean? Remember last week we covered elements, so that little E sign means element. In number theory, we learned that the N sign means natural numbers, right? So what this is saying, as I mentioned, you need to start reading those little equations there, those notations. Why? Because you will find some of that in your assignment. And if you do not know, find help. Because if you tell me, yeah, very good, Gerald, E it means element of. So we can see that X is an element of the natural numbers, right? And X is less than 5. That is what C is saying. As I mentioned, if you are not familiar with those, please review, please search, please ask, because you will find some of those notations in your assignments, right? And it is better for you to know a little bit than for you to be lost and include a next thing. So these are examples of how you will find set notations, or how set builder notations should look like. Okay, so now we have activity 3. Identify the correct representation of the set. We have set P equals to X, where X is a letter in the word set theory. Is that semantic, raster, or set builder notation? What do you think?
The P1, Miss?
Yes, P. P is semantic, raster, or set builder notation.
Semantic roster, Miss.
What?
Yes.
Why
It's
would
a
you?
semantic roster, Miss.
Why would that is separated, right? Semantic and raster is separated. It's not the same thing. We have semantic notation, we have raster notation, and we have set.
Well, it's semantic, Miss. It's semantic.
Semantic.
Are you sure that
No,
P
raster.
is
Wait.
semantic?
Set builder.
It's a roster,
Yes,
Miss.
set builder.
Because it-
Set P is set builder. Why? Remember the key features. It has an X, it has a colon, it has an X followed by the description, right? Please take note of that. A set
Miss,
builder notation.
and if-
Yes, listen.
Yes, you told.
right? You could use the two dots, which is the colon and the vertical bar for set builder notation. So if you look that a set has a bar or the colon, that should automatically light the bulb, right? Why? Because that is the only one, set builder notation is the only one that uses the colon or the vertical bar. Now is C semantic, raster, or set builder?
Semantic, miss.
Can I hear again? What are your
Roster.
For Siemens,
Yeah, for C.
roster.
Raster, right? Why? Because we have the name of the set and the elements are listed there, separated by commas and enclosed in curly brackets. So very good. Now, for this one, we will do this together. We will get this set builder notation together. So we have E equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the description? Can anyone tell me what is the description quickly? What is the description of this set? Just the description. I'm not asking for anything else. I'm not asking you for the notation. I'm just asking the description. Remember, it is important.
First six natural numbers.
The first 6 natural numbers. Very good. What else can we see?
Miss, I can type it.
Yes, you could type it. Sure. I'm asking for the description though, not the set builder notation, just the description. Okay? So very
Numbers
good.
less than 6.
Could you repeat?
Numbers less than 6.
Less than 6?
Yes. Or less than 7.
Less than 7, right? Less than 7. So we have completed our first step. We could say that it is less than 7, or it is the first, like Ernest said, it is the first 6 natural numbers or positive integers. Remember, positive integers are natural numbers, right? So that could be our description. Now, what we do next, we name our set and we add the curly brackets, right? If we want to name it A, we name it A. If we want to name it B, we name it B. I think, please copy this ones because I think this is found in your activity, right? I think this one is found in your activity if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so we have naming our set and adding curly brackets. And step 3, we start filling the set with an X. So we have E, the curly brackets, and X, right? So what we do next? Right? We place a vertical bar or a colon after X, and then we insert an X after the vertical bar followed by the condition, right? Followed by the condition. So at the end, you should have something like like the two examples that I have there, you should have A equals to X with a vertical bar. X is a positive integer, or you could use the colon, right? And X is less than 7, or you could simply put like Ernest said, X is a positive, X is the first 6 positive integers, and that will also be correct, right? Now, for the ones of you that are more familiar with the symbols and everything, you could also represent it like I have down there, A equals to X, where X is an element of the natural numbers and X is less than 7. So at the end, this is how your set builder notation should look like. You should follow these steps so that you do not get confused, right? So now it's your turn. These are also found in your assignment. So now first, before starting the concepts, and now I guided you again. So let me see what you can do. We have the set of all positive integers, which are multiples of 10. And we have b equals to 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5. How would we represent those in set builder notation? I want to see the chat box. What do you think?
Send it, Miss. Send the answer.
What?
Send the answer.
Yes, send the answer because that is for you to do, not for me. Okay, Gerald said sent his response for set B. What do you think about set the first one? Gerald, how would you represent that? Not only Gerald, right? There's many of you guys in the session. Remember, go step by step. If you try to rush, you will more than likely not do it correctly. Find your description, name your set, add your curly brackets, add the x, then add your vertical bar or your colon, add the other x or yeah, the other x followed by the description. Anybody else wants to share? John Gerald has shared his response. What do we think about the first set? How would we write that in set builder notation? I'll give you 1 more minute and then we type it in the chat box. Lisette, remember, your description is correct, but remember you are missing the key thing there. Good, Edwin. Lisette, remember you should have a first X, the vertical bar, or the
yes,
colon.
Miss.
Okay, please remember, right? That is something very important in set builder notation. Good, Edwin, can I see some of your responses? I have only seen 3 so far. Remember, go step by step. You don't have to rush. Okay, good, right? Remember, fractions. For set B, remember we covered patterns too. So you need to find the pattern there. You need to find the pattern there so that you it does the same thing, the pattern, the condition, the rule, so that you could get what the set is about, right? We could say, I noticed that for the assignment, because this is a question in the assignment, in the past assignment, right? I noticed that many of you wrote fractions. But fractions are not only half, 1/3. The fractions could be 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, and those are not included here. So you could take a look at it as the reciprocals, or you could take a look at it as 1/n, right? Where n is an element of the natural number. So since the natural number starts with 1 until infinity, then all the fractions should be 1/n. 1, 1 over 2, 1 over 3 are not listing in raster form, right? In raster form is you list the elements, and in set builder notation you give the description. You do not give the elements themselves. Please remember, in set builder notation we describe or define the elements instead of listing. Okay, good. I saw that only Gerald shared his response for B. But as I mentioned, B could either be reciprocals, you could find what the rule is there, or it could be 1 over n as Gerald has. Please take a good look at the set before, right? So that you can find the correct description. So this is what you should have. X is a positive integer and a multiple of 10, or x where x is equal to 10n. N is an element of the natural number, or n is a positive integer. That is how your set should look like. And we have therefore B. Don't worry, Alan, this is this will be found in your Google Classroom, right? And then we have for B. So now choose the correct set builder notation. For the set B equals to 11, 13, 17, and 19. Choose the correct set builder notation. You should send A, B, C, or D. Ernest says B is the first.
No, miss, that was my response for the last question, miss.
Yeah,
Page
but
4.
is the first part of each number. Let's see, it could work, right? But you need to be a little bit more specific. Why? Because if you tell students that, or if you represent that, not everyone will understand it, right? So as I mentioned, you could put 1 over n, where n is a natural number, or you could put it as the reciprocal of the natural numbers, and that will be correct, right? But good try. And Marielle, C equals to X. Marielle, are you talking about which one? B, Miss. Ryan says C. What else do you think? Is it A, B, C, or D? You don't have to type everything, just type the letter. So B is winning. I see B's. Let's see. So B is winning. B says A equals to X, where X is a not number, and X is greater than 10 but less than 18. This is what B is saying. So do you agree that this is what the set is representing? Or do you wish to change your response? Remember, you should learn this little notation so that you know what it means. When the little arrow looks like a little L, if you notice it looks like a L, it means less, right? So if you see there, everyone has a little L there, so it means less. So it means that X is less than 10 and X is less than 20. In B, it is telling you X is less than 10 and X is less than, 10 is less than X, and just a moment, I forgot where I was. Okay, B. So for B, we see that 10 start with X. Look at the left and look at the right. So we could see that X is what? Any of you have an idea of what X is telling you? So now you are changing to C, right? Why?
Miss, I was the first one to change it, Miss, because I just realized that they are prime numbers.
Yes, miss,
Good.
they
They
are
are
prime
prime
numbers.
numbers, right? And you need to look at the condition too, right? Because in B, those are also odd numbers,
They're
but
missing
they are
15.
missing one odd number, right?
Yes, miss.
Which is 15. So the condition there writes 10 and X is more than 10, but X is less than 18. But we have 19 there, so that wouldn't work. So as I mentioned, you need to learn to read these things because if not, it will not help you. Okay? So the answer is C. X, where X is a prime number, and X is more than 10, but less than 20. So to end on today's session, I want you to tell me what are some key differences between the three ways to represent a set. We have covered semantic, we have covered raster, and we have covered set builder notation. What are some key differences that you notice about them? What are some key differences? Any of you want to share something that you notice about the three types? Okay, good. Some of you are saying that semantic has a definition, but that is semantic and and set builder have in common, right? They both have a description, right? They both have. Oh, but Alan was not in the full session, so I think you need to look at the recording for you to get that set builder notation also has a little description. You need to name and put brackets. Good, but that's not the difference. Maybe for semantic, yes, and set builder, and because set builder notation and raster notation does use the curly brackets, but semantic doesn't, right? SRC is the bracket, yeah, and the vertical bar for builder, very good, right? No other one has the vertical bar than only the set builder notation. So semantic is a description of a set, raster is listed, and set builder uses vertical bars. Is Gerald, very good, good job. Semantic and raster don't have X. Good. They don't have a little X with the bars there. Okay, so good. You can identify some key differences. So if you can identify the differences, that means that you should not get confused naming those types of representations. You should not get confused when given a set and trying to figure out if it is represented in semantic and raster or in set builder notation. Why? Because you know the key differences, right? Remember, semantic has a description, has a name, but it is mostly like a sentence, right? And raster, we are listing the elements. One explains the set, the next uses the bar, and the curly bracket. The last is the examples of the curly brackets. Okay, it's not the example, it's not an example, but it is like a little condition or a rule, right? With the curly brackets. So So identify, differentiate the three, over the three of them, and we will start working in our activities. I think this session had some questions, but we will work on the activities tomorrow, right? So that is it for today. I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day, right? Any questions before we leave? Do you have any questions?
Yes, Miss, I have a question.
Yes, Yuri, you could go ahead.
Miss, for the resubmit for the activity 6, I can send it because then I do it in a Word, the Word doc, and then Friday it tell me that I have to submit a file that is
Oh,
mine.
okay. So what you could do is you could copy the assignment in a Word document, not a Google form or a Google form. No, not Google form. How we call this? Google document, but do in Word. Do in Word, and then you attach that or you place the file, and that will work good too.
Miss, but I still could submit it today.
Yeah, some of you still haven't resubmitted. You can still submit if you want. If you don't, then that's no problem with me. There are still some of you that have not. I gave you feedback because some of you resubmitted, but you didn't change what I mentioned in the feedback, right? Okay, no problem. So no questions about the class, about today's session? So if you have not resubmitted assignment 7, this should help you a lot because we covered this today. And this should be easy for you on your next assignment because I made it very specific and detailed, right? So that is it, guys. You don't have to. I see so many of you here. The class is already done. I'm just responding to questions if your colleagues have some questions.
Bye, Miss. Have a nice day.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Listen to Miss Christie.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, Miss.
Bye, Ryan. Goodbye.
Bye, Miss.
Goodbye.
Bye, Miss. Bye, Miss Mai. Have a
Bye,
wonderful.
Miss. Bye, Miss Mai.
Goodbye.
Bye, Miss. Have a good day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, Miss.
Goodbye, listen. Yuri will have a party time, she says. It's your birthday, Yuri.
Yes, Miss.
Happy birthday. May
Thanks,
God
Miss.
bless
Thanks,
you.
Miss Mai.
Bye, Alan.
Bye, Miss. Bye, Miss Mai.
Goodbye, Yuri.
Bye, Miss. Bye, Miss Mai. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Ryan. Goodbye. Bye, sorry. Goodbye, Kami.
Bye, Miss.
Goodbye, Kevin. You had any observations, man? I will message you later to anyone you Okay, Miss, don't worry. Thank you. Goodbye.